Welcome to Fact Fountain, your daily drop of curiosity. Here's a quick one. Would you rather stand on top of Everest or solve the mysteries of Saturn's rings? Tell us in the comments. June 30th, 1908, Siberia. At 7:17 a.m., a fireball exploded over the Tunguska River region. The blast flattened 2,150 square kilometers of forest, an area larger than London. More than 80 million trees were destroyed. Witnesses reported being thrown to the ground 60 kilometers away. The explosion released energy equal to 15 megatons of TNT, about 1,000 times the Hiroshima bomb. Yet no crater was ever found. Scientists believe it was a comet or asteroid that exploded in the atmosphere. But mystery lingers. Could it have been something else? The Tunguska event remains one of the greatest unsolved puzzles in science. It is also a reminder: Earth is vulnerable to cosmic impacts. One morning, without warning, the universe flattened a forest. Next time, it might be a city. Venice, Italy, built on 118 small islands with 150 canals and over 400 bridges. More than 20 million tourists visit every year, but the city itself is sinking at about 2 millimeters per year. Rising sea levels make flooding worse. In November 2019, Venice saw its worst flood in 50 years. 85% of the city was underwater, causing damage worth over €1 billion. To fight back, engineers created the Mose Barrier Project, 78 massive gates that rise from the sea to block high tides. But challenges remain. Venice is fragile, yet it stands as a masterpiece of human creativity. Its history, art, and architecture attract the world, even as water threatens its future. The city of gondolas is a reminder that beauty can exist in the face of destruction. And yes, it is also the only city where traffic jam can mean being stuck behind tourists in a boat taking selfies. Mount Everest towers at 8,149 meters, the tallest mountain on Earth. Since Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay first reached the summit in 1953, more than 10,000 climbers have tried to follow. Every year, about 800 attempt the climb. But Everest is unforgiving. Over 300 people have died, and many remain frozen on its slopes, preserved by the extreme cold. Temperatures near the top can drop to minus 60 degrees Celsius, and oxygen levels are so low that survival is measured in hours. The death zone, above 8,000 meters, is where most tragedies occur. Climbers risk frostbite, altitude sickness, and avalanches. The cost of an expedition is over $50,000, but the real price is far greater: your life. Everest is both a symbol of human ambition and a graveyard in the sky. The bodies along its path are silent warnings that nature always has the last word. And while you may feel exhausted after 2 flights of stairs, some willingly pay thousands to fight for each breath in the deadliest staircase on Earth. Imagine a machine so powerful it can write novels, create art, compose symphonies, and even suggest scientific breakthroughs before humans discover them. That is GPT-5, released in 2025 by OpenAI. It is trained on trillions of words, images, and data points, making it thousands of times stronger than its early predecessors. GPT-5 can generate working computer code in seconds, summarize entire books in minutes, and even predict protein structures that scientists later confirm in laboratories. For comparison, its older cousin GPT-3 had 175 billion parameters. GPT-5 operates on multiple trillions. With that power, industries from healthcare to space research are already changing. Doctors use it to analyze patient data, while architects let it design futuristic buildings. But here's the big question: can humans fully control something that constantly learns and improves? Today, GPT-5 is an assistant. Tomorrow, it might be the one asking the questions. And if you think your smartphone is clever for auto-correcting te to thee, imagine a system that suggests a cure for cancer before clinical trials even begin. That is the scale of GPT-5. Imagine a man who dreamed of wireless power, global communication, and renewable energy at a time when most people still used candles. Nikola Tesla, born in 1856 in Smiljan, Croatia, was that man. He invented alternating current electricity, which powers our homes today, and registered more than 300 patents in his lifetime. In 1898, he stunned the world by remotely controlling a small boat in New York, proving wireless communication decades before it became mainstream. Tesla envisioned energy towers transmitting power across continents without wires, a vision never realized but still studied today. He also experimented with X-rays, radio waves, and even early concepts of radar. Despite his brilliance, Tesla struggled financially, and he died almost penniless in 1943 in a New York hotel. Yet his legacy endures. Every time you flip on a light switch or use Wi-Fi, you are living in Tesla's future. He was not just an inventor. He was a man who brought lightning under human control. Over 2,000 years ago, in the Egyptian city of Alexandria, stood the greatest library of the ancient world. Built around the 3rd century BCE under Ptolemy II, it may have held up to 400,000 scrolls. These contained knowledge on medicine, astronomy, mathematics, engineering, and more. Imagine works by Aristotle, Archimedes, and other ancient thinkers stored in one place. Then, fire. The library was destroyed sometime between the 2nd and 4th centuries CE, its scrolls lost forever. The exact cause is debated. Julius Caesar's attack in 48 BCE, later Roman conflicts, or simple neglect. Regardless, humanity lost priceless wisdom. If those scrolls had survived, we might have had electricity, antibiotics, or even space travel centuries earlier. The Library of Alexandria remains history's greatest what-if. It teaches us one lesson. Knowledge is fragile, and once lost, it may never return. 3 hearts, blue blood, a body that changes shape like liquid. The octopus is one of the most extraordinary creatures on Earth. There are more than 300 species worldwide, from tiny ones the size of a fingernail to the giant Pacific octopus, which can stretch up to 5 meters across. Octopuses can change color and texture in seconds, thanks to special skin cells called chromatophores. They are escape artists, too, squeezing through holes the size of a coin. Each arm has about 200 suckers, all controlled independently. In 2016, Inky the octopus escaped from a New Zealand aquarium by slipping through a gap, crawling across the floor, and sliding down a drainpipe into the sea. Scientists call them some of the most intelligent invertebrates. They solve puzzles, use tools, and remember patterns. If aliens ever land on Earth, they may look like octopuses, clever, mysterious, and completely otherworldly. Most of us can barely hold a plank for 30 seconds. George Hood, a 62-year-old former U.S. Marine, shattered that limit in February 2020. He held the plank for 9 hours, 40 minutes, and 1 second, setting a Guinness World Record. During the attempt, Hood burned over 4,000 calories, the same as running a marathon. His training routine was extreme: 2,000 sit-ups, 700 push-ups, and 500 squats every single day. He also lifted weights for 4 to 5 hours. His record proves determination is stronger than age. For comparison, the average person collapses after 60 seconds. Hood lasted long enough to watch 5 movies back-to-back. His achievement is both inspiring and humbling. The next time your trainer says, just 30 seconds more, remember, someone out there turned those 30 seconds into nearly 10 hours. Saturn, the 6th planet from the Sun, is famous for its rings, billions of icy particles stretching 282,000 kilometers wide, but only about 10 meters thick. But these rings are disappearing. NASA A.S. Cassini mission discovered they are raining into Saturn A.S. atmosphere at a rate of 432 to 2,870 kilograms per second. At this speed, Saturn will lose its rings in about 100 million years. For humans, that sounds eternal. For the universe, it is just a blink. Saturn without its rings would look like just another gas giant. Imagine the solar system without one of its most iconic features. The truth is, Even the most beautiful things in the cosmos do not last forever. Saturn is losing its jewelry, and there is nothing we can do to stop it. In 1977, astronomer Jerry Amon at Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope noticed something extraordinary: a 72-second-long radio burst, 30 times stronger than background noise, coming from the constellation Sagittarius. Stunned, Amon circled the printout in red ink and wrote one word: "Wow." Since then, no one has ever heard the signal again. Some say it was a comet. Others blame natural phenomena. But the narrow frequency makes it unlikely to be random. Could it have been a message from another civilization? The wow signal remains one of astronomy's greatest mysteries. Even after repeated searches, the source has never been identified. Imagine if your phone rang once. No caller ID, no voicemail, no repeat call, just silence forever. That is what the wow signal feels like. A one-time cosmic whisper that leaves us wondering if we missed our first contact with extraterrestrial life. Which fact blew your mind? GPT-5, Everest, or Saturn's disappearing rings? Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss your daily drop of curiosity from Fact Fountain.